Here just a couple weeks ago, Jared over at Knives Knives sent me a box of stuff, and in it was the new Tactile knives Chupacabra. So we're going to turn this around and look at this goat sucker from above. All right, guys, the goat sucker is on the bench. This is the Tactile knives Chupacabra. Now, this is a very cool knife. I'm going to have some negative things to say at the back, but it is a very cool knife. Amazing because it is a very affordable American-made knife. I did look this up. These are like $249, 100% American-made. Love the guys over at Tactile. Mike, if you watch this, because I'm going to send you this, the negative things are just my personal stuff, so don't take it the wrong way. So you're looking at a Magna Cut blade that's done in a nicely done sheep's foot fashion that is at kind of an angle. It gives you that aggressiveness that you would want in the cut. It comes down to a beautifully terminated edge. Tactile does such a good job on their blades. This one, like I said, Magna Cut aluminum with steel liners, and then it has their new Super Lock, which for as fun as it is, we'll talk about it later. It is a really cool clicky. Here, let me bring it off next to my mic. It has like a double click to it when you deploy the knife, and it makes it very, very fidgety. Thumb studs on this are perfectly placed. The handles are super, super comfortable. So the finish on the handles is a very, very fine blast on the aluminum. And then you can see inside they've done weight reduction on the steel liners. You have got a deep carry pocket clip, which is, it's a very deep carry. Like, this is one of the better deep carry pocket clips I've seen as far as where it carries and how it rides. It rides really well in the pocket because it's nice and broad, and it's not at all difficult in and out of the pocket because it slides right in. I've tried it on 3 different types of pants of different thicknesses. The lock is a lot like the Shark lock, which I have an example of here. Very, very similar in the fidgety factor on it, and the fact that it has the double click on it is great. Now, with this being a back style lock like the Shark lock, you have got an ambidextrous knife. Really good jimping on the spine of this, as I would expect from the guys over at Tactile, and then just really good fit and finish. Now, I have done a little bit of cutting with this, and the Magna Cut blade on this cuts really, really well. I may need to touch the edge up. This came from Jared, and it's just not super sharp, so we may get a little bit better feel for how it cuts after I put kind of a toothier edge on it. The Magna Cut is a super good steel if you're working in wet environments because Magna Cut is very, very rust resistant. This thing is so comfortable because of the way they've chamfered these handles and everything, and it gives it a really nice look, but then again, it takes off all those rough edges and everything like that. And then in hand, when you're cutting, it just sits just where you want it for cutting. It absolutely does. And so when you get up on it and just power into a cut, because I cut up a bunch of cardboard for recycling, and it cuts really well. It's just got this nice radius blade that is not too radius, so you still can do the things that you would do with a Warrenclyffe that had a super straight edge, but still then be able to do some of the things that you would want to do with a blade if you want to cut around something or you know, cut around something like that where you want a little bit of belly to it, where a really straight blade is just going to put the point too aggressive and you're going to punch through things. As far as the mechanism, super, super smooth, like really, really smooth. And then, like I said, that double click on it is great. And the thumb studs, at first, when I first tried it, I was like, oh, the thumb studs are just in a bad position. I don't really like it. And then I got used to how you can access them from there. Double-sided hardware. I have not taken this apart, so I don't know how difficult it will be. Single-sided pivot. I guarantee it's keyed. The guys over at Tactile would not have given you a knife that was difficult to disassemble. So we may take this apart and see. I'm just curious as the mechanism. But I did see that this lock, as opposed to a lot of other companies, is not just some cheap garbage steel that they threw in. This is AEBL at 61 to 62 HRC. So you don't have to worry about the lock deforming and wearing out. You've got a very high quality material that the lock is made out of, and the jimping on it for the lock is just about perfect. It's not overly aggressive, and it gives you very good grip on that for deployment and to unlock the knife. Now, I do have to say, I got a lot of problems with this knife, and it's just mostly me stuff. So I'm on the fence. I didn't put my rating scale out. I'm on the fence yet as to like how I truly feel about the knife. I'll have to carry it for a little bit longer and get used to it. But let's go ahead and address those little things. Flip side of the story, flip side of the knife. Okay, let's address the things that I found that are kind of negative on this. I'm not a fan at all of the pocket clip. As much as I talked about it, that it is really deep and it sits in the pocket really well. I don't like the way it feels for me in hand. It's a little bit sharp. This, if you guys remember back in the day, the original Microtech DOC had a pocket clip kind of similar to this, and Jim Skelton deemed it the FU clip. That point digs into my hand badly. It's uncomfortable. I'm at the point where I think if I'm going to give this knife a true review, for most of the use, I'm going to have to take the pocket clip off. I do know there is an option for a different pocket clip on this. I don't know if this is the stock pocket clip or if this is the aftermarket, so I really can't tell you. Next thing, if you like these really fine style handles, it's probably going to be great for you, but I find it with sweaty, if your hands get sweaty at all, they can be a little slick. They can be a little bit slippery. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more texture, maybe some sort of, you know, pattern milling on the handles. I know that would add cost, but they just feel a little slick to me. And like for a knife, if you're going to use it a lot, you don't want slippery handles. I will say, even with it being a little bit slick, you do have a very good shaped handle for you to hold on to. Next thing, this is another one of those knives that rolls out of the cut for me, so it doesn't quite address the cut the way I want, and then it poses some problems. It's not a showstopper. I can readdress, but then it doesn't feel as comfortable. Speaking of the handles, this is one of those knives that I think would have been great without a choil, without this sharpening area. I think if they had just brought the grind back and then brought the termination point I kept catching cardboard in that. This is one of the few knives that I'm going to say that sharpening notch I'm not a fan of. And then with it not being a full choil, I can't get up and over, and I don't have that second position to get a little closer to the point. So, and then the final thing is the lock. I am not a fan of these. As fun and fidgety as these are, I am not a fan of these locks. I find them uncomfortable. They're in a position where in my hand, I don't like the way that feels. I'm not a fan of the shark lock. As fun and fidgety as it is, it gets in the way. Unless you're gonna put your thumb on it, you can do it with this, but then you're even farther back from the work surface. I just am not a fan of these. As fun and fidgety as they are, I have just come to the point where they're just not the lock for me. So with all that being said, is it yup or not? It's still a yup with the possibility of a nah. It's a great knife. It's just not 100% something that's for me. I am going to give it the benefit of the doubt because I do I'm going to give it the benefit of a full review because I do love the guys over at Tactile. I love what they do, and I may get used to this over time. So with that being said, guys, let's turn this around. We'll do some final thoughts and send you out about your day. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Even with the things that I pointed out in mind, it's still a very good knife. I don't know if it would be a knife for me. There's just some things about it. I have not been a big fan of these back lock, like the shark lock. As fidgety and fun as they are, for me, I find them to be almost a game stopper, where they're just kind of in my way. So it's nothing against them. It's a beautifully done knife, great blade. So guys, that's it on this one. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. If you do all of that, it will help me in the algorithm. But you can also support the channel by using the affiliate links down below. I'll try and find a link for this one. You can use those affiliate links down below. It doesn't cost you anything extra at checkout. It definitely supports the channel, especially that Amazon store. Take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for all your Amazon shopping you're going to do, and it doesn't cost you anything. I have a couple of links down there that will save you at checkout, 10% off at Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Some of the best coffee you're going to find, and amazing outdoor laces for hiking boots and hand-stitched wallets over at Tempered Trail. Guys, I also have a coupon code that will save you 10% at KATSU Knives, Forge Knife Works, and a Rosecraft Blades. That coupon code is crazysharp, all one word. I have a membership down below if you want to join that. You'll see the join button if you're on most platforms. If not, scroll down and there's a spot where it says, you know, join my membership. I also have got a public Discord that's hosted on Gilded. There's a link to that where it says join the community. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you. I'll keep it clean in the comment section if it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And I will see you in the next rousing rendition. Shout out to my boy Scab. Take it easy and I'll see you guys next time.